Good morning all, Gary here. I'm doing a small series of paintings for Etsy, little 5x7s, and I thought I'd just show you my process. So I'm starting this one with inking, obviously. A tiny little cottage, a couple of trees, and a doghouse. Very simple composition, very light, friendly little place, and they go well in a group of four. So I wanted to make my trees somewhat angular in this one, just to make it a little more interesting. So I'm mapping them out with my 1/2-inch flat brush. Now I'm using cadmium yellow, in the hopes that it's going to jump off the page. Now the roof, rather than go with standard shingle colors, I'm using quinacridone gold. And I'm putting down a pretty wet mixture of that with my number 10 round brush. Quinacridone gold's pretty cool. It actually disperses quite nicely and creates its own range of textures. For the chimney, we got a Davies Gray, and I'm dropping in burnt sienna just to give that kind of a weathered look. Now my downspout that I'm painting right now, I probably spent about 5 minutes mixing the paint to get it the right color, and then of course I lost the video, so I just saved you 5 minutes, and let's just call it a green. As for the foreground, I wanted to keep that clean and simple. I'm trying to keep them as simple as possible, so that was a cadmium yellow and a bit of green I mixed up to drop into the foreground. Now I wasn't going to paint a sky in this originally, and then halfway through changed my mind and decided to make kind of a random sky with some kind of cloud formation in the background. So I loaded up some cobalt blue, a bit ultramarine, a bit of, I think I even burnt sienna in there, and just kind of pushing the brush into the paper to create those clouds and just to give the sky a bit of character. Now my cottage is going to be a stone structure. Again, just dropping colors in and letting them mix themselves on the page. I will be inking over those stones, so I just wanted to give it a bit of texture and a bit of a bit of a different look. Oh, please like and subscribe. There it is. By the way, thanks so much for everybody subscribing to this channel. I really appreciate it. I was blown away by the response to the first one. So thanks so much for joining, and I really appreciate all the comments. I read them all, and I am taking notes. So thanks once again. So I'm not using a reference for color on this. I'm just pretty well making the colors up as I go. The only thing I knew in advance is that I wanted the trees to be bright, and that I did want a little stone cottage, and of course I wanted a doghouse. Don't have an outhouse in this one. They say paint what you know, and that doghouse resembles very much the one I had for my very first dog back in the 60s. So now I'm applying some shadows to the cottage, and they really define the structure. The light, I've decided is coming from the upper left, and you'll find it when, it's pretty quiet little picture, but once you add the shadows to it and indicate that the light is coming, I think it really defines the picture. The windows, pretty straightforward. All you're doing is essentially painting in the sky color, because it is a reflection of the sky. So it can be a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, whatever works out. I want to let you know that there's a template available for all the YouTube videos over at on my Patreon thing. Well, actually, my Patreon members. So if you're interested in getting the templates, they're over there on Patreon. Now here I wasn't happy with the front, those little bricks I'd painted in, so I just wet the front of the building and smudged them around a bit, and I put it on a tilt so I can put a little bit of staining down at the base there. So that was a bit of burnt sienna. I also realized that my trees were a little bit flat. So while the board's on a tilt, the block is on a tilt, I added water to the trees, and now I'm just dropping in some more color, and that's just a bit of cadmium yellow and a bit of yellow ochre. So I just wanted to give the impression of, shadow under the foliage. Again, the light coming from the upper left. Now, when I set out to do this painting, the other thought I had was I wasn't going to ink the foliage. I was just going to leave it as a watercolor. But all the pencil lines showed through, and I couldn't erase them. So I have decided to ink the trees and finish the whole picture with a nice fine line around it. Now my trunks are made up of the muck that's in the bottom of my palette. Mostly a green base, green, bit of blue, bit of burnt sienna. But I keep them on the, like with a bit of a green look. Now the Rotring pen that I'm using, super, super fine point. Acts very much like I guess like a tattoo needle. So the ink is actually on a little pin and it goes in and out. So it's a bit difficult to work on this paper given that it's rough. I think they're more designed for like a smooth hot press paper. But on, if you're patient enough and you can get through the painting because you're constantly shaking the pen to keep the ink flowing. But the ink, outstanding results because it gives a nice, fine, finished look. And they are super satisfying to work with, but on the rough paper, you do have to be patient. So here I'm just dropping an ink outline in around it. And we are just about done. So I'm going to clean up the foreground here, and I'll get my signature in. And I'm going to thank everybody once again for both liking and subscribing this channel. I do really appreciate it. And if you want to get this painting, it's over on Etsy. Thanks once again for watching, and we'll see you again soon.